Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your host, Tiny Jester. It's been a couple days, but the end of March happened, so we need to do our review. We need to talk about what we did in March. It's over. 31 days. It's gone. It's now April 3rd. Where have I been for a couple days? Normally I get this done ahead of time, but I was taking a couple days away, just relaxing, playing other games, doing other things. We were playing a lot of Last Epoch. A lot of Last Epoch. I have several characters that are in the 80s. I think I have 5 characters, and they're all... 4 of them are in the 80s and 1 in the 70s. Anyways, a lot of Last Epoch. The problem with computer games is they are a time sink. That's what they're designed for. They're designed to get you to come play and make you come back every single day and spend every minute playing the games. And I did for a couple weeks. So we didn't get much done in March because of this. We still had a great month. I'm telling you, we had a great month. Let's look at what we did. So this is going to be kind of a shorter review than normal. What we're going to do, can we add? Yes, we can add this in. There we go. So March 2024, man, what a great month. We had so many good games. There was a 2-week period that we had played some of the best of the best. Well, we started off March. We finished our top 100 board games of all time with Phoenix Knight and Higher Ground Gaming. March 5th, I think, was our last show. And in honor of that show, and because it made my number one game of all time now, Sentinels of the Multiverse, after we finished the show, I said, if I'm going to play a game, let's play my number one game of all time. So we did. We played Sentinels of the Multiverse. Whew, it's so good. I love that game. Then we played Earth. We played Final Girl. And I'll tell you what, Final Girl is really, it's really wrapped its head around me. I think it's a great game, and the more I play it, the more I go, wow, this is pretty cool. It didn't seem like there was a lot of strategy and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of depth, I guess, to the game, but let me tell you, I was completely wrong. And every time I get out one of those scenarios, I just think, wow, this game is really good. We played Sports Illustrated Football. We played Spirit Island. It's been a long time since I played Spirit Island, actually. And we played it, and I'm like, wow, I need to play more Spirit Island. We got the expansion pack with a bunch of the new, what is it called? Nature's Incarnate or something like that, I believe. Last year I ended up getting the expansion for it, and I'm like 20 or so behind, just like I am with Marvel Champions. I buy all the new heroes and then I never play them. But anyway, Spirit Island, great game. So we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best games ever. Just bam, 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 bam. And then we hit a lull. Lull. Get it? Lull. Where we played A Touch of Evil, Dark Gothic. We followed that up by playing A Touch of Evil. Both by Flying Frog. Flying Frog? Is that what they're called? Yes, they're Flying Frog. And just something about their games and the way they design them and the way they... It's nice in one aspect, right? There is a very nice aspect to Flying Frog games where they don't take themselves too serious. They create these games that are very interactive and get your imagination going and stuff like that. It's just the components and the quality that they put out is just so subpar. It's just I don't want to say I'm It is. It is just subpar, and it just drives me crazy when I'm playing it. And it's so glossy, and you're trying to record things, and you got lights and cameras on and everything, and you can't see anything and the cards stick together. It's just so much work to play their games. They don't make it fun. That's the problem. Games are supposed to be fun. Then we got an Imperium Classic out and played it. Some Fall Classic Baseball, Cthulhu, the Horror of Dunwich deck building game. Sentinels of the Multiverse, the Definitive Edition, because why not? Then we played 2 new games, Return to the Heroes board game, which... This is one of these games I was really dying to get because it was a masterpiece back in the 1990s or early 2000s. I forget when it came out. Did I actually write it down? 2003. I did. I'm starting to put the dates down so I can remember when games came out. Return of the Heroes. What do I say about it? It's got a great concept. I don't think they executed the concept very well. I should mention that I think a lot of the issues are fixed in the expansion, which I end up buying as well. And I know the base game was like very cheap. It was like $18 or something. The expansion was a little bit more. I think I got it for like $40 or $50 for the expansion. But I seen it going for anywhere between $80 to $180. So I think I got it for a pretty good price. And here's what I would say. It's 2003. The expansion is supposed to fix a bunch of things. I don't know. All I can tell you is what happened with my playthrough. And again, this is one of these games that changes the format because you're playing it solo, which is fine if they set it up that way. But there's rules for the game, and then there's rules to play cooperative, and then there's rules to play it competitively, and then there's solo rules, and all of these are not really expressed and explained very well, and you kind of try to have to figure out how the game is supposed to be set up. It was originally published in German, and then I guess the designer either died or gave up on it or whatever, so everything was translated over to English. They've tried to and figure out. This is one of these games. It's a great looking game, and it's one of those games that just it's a classic. Everyone knows Return to the Heroes. They've seen the box cover. They know what it looks like. And you should try and play it once in your lifetime because it's worth it. It's just one of these games that I think they tried to add a solo mode to a game that wasn't designed for solo mode. And I don't think this is one of these games that plays great solo. So let's just say that. And then, I'm telling you what, Alter Quest. This was a spur of the moment. I was feeling down. I was upset about something, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to buy Alter Quest because it looks good. I can get it for a really good price. It was one of these miniature markets special of the day, 80% off or something like that. I got the base game and all the expansions and everything for like $100. And I think the base game alone is like $100. So I was doing really good. I got it all. So I was like, all right, I'll buy it. So it sounds like a great idea. I love modular stuff, aka Sentinels of the Multiverse, where you take a heroes and you take the environment and you take the villain and you just mix and match them however you want. Alter Quest kind of does the same thing. You take your heroes, you take your dungeon, you take your dungeon features, you take your enemies, and you take your villains and you mix them all up and mix them. Boom, and you're gone. And I was like, Sounds interesting. Not great reviews. And I can get it for a pretty decent price. I'll get it. And I'm telling you what, Ultra Quest is probably going to be in my top 20 games of all time next year. I really, really, really like it. I think it's awesome. In fact, when I get done with this review show, I'm sitting here looking at all these games around here, and I'm thinking, what should I set up? What should I play? And I'm dying to play Ultra Quest again. The whole time I was playing Last Epoch, it was like, oh, I should probably stop playing Last Epoch and get back to playing some board games. And I was like, well, what are you going to play? So I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I would really like to try Ultra Quest again because it was so much fun. It was a great game. I don't know why. I guess, from what I understand, the reviewers out there, I'm not even sure what their issue was with the game and balance and everything. It's too easily designed, I guess. So you have to house rule some difficulty into it or whatever. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I've watched some people with some house rule and stuff. I played it. I didn't think it was super simple. I see the issue people have. Like, you activate, you go into a room, you set all the enemies up, and then all your characters take their turns, hoping to wipe out all the enemies in the room, and then the enemies don't actually do anything. Yes, I get the point, right? The enemies show up, you all go in there, you beat them all up before they can even do anything. There's like no initiative turns or anything like that. It's just you are trying to min-max your turns so that you can wipe out all the enemies before they get a chance to do anything. Which, yes, okay, maybe that's not the greatest and best designs, but there's also, I can understand the people's issues with the game. With that being said, the problem is not every room is like that, because there is a timing mechanism in the game. By the boss has only so many cards, and once the cards run out of his deck, then he will show up whether you like it or not. And so if you just sit in your room doing nothing and you're not going to the next room, then you're going to go through his cards faster and he's going to show up, which may or may not be a good thing depending on the scenario you're playing. So I find in my scenario, like, yes, you start off the first turn and you're like by the stairways, and you can end up getting your guys right in the room and take, and do some damage to his enemies, and hopefully like mostly take those first group out unless they're super tough, right? But now you're out of action, so then the game takes its turn and it does this thing, and then it's going to take you a couple actions to move over to the next door and open it up and get ready to go. So you don't have your full actions to kind of take out the enemies in the next room, and then the next room gets a little bit more delayed. So it's not like you can do this the whole game. I just don't see that happening. So anyways, that's kind of the way I found it. It was not super simple. It wasn't super easy. I love the modular aspect of the game. We played a couple things wrong when we were doing it, but we figured this out as we were playing through the game. So we kind of changed things. We made it extremely hard on ourselves the first couple times because we were doing something we shouldn't have been doing, and we were drawing an extra card to give an extra encounter, which we shouldn't have been doing, and it made it very tough, and it took us a little while to overcome our mistake, that was on me for doing that, but it took us a little while to overcome our mistake, and once we did, we started getting a little bit power going, and we got things rolling with their characters, and I thought it was great. I had a great time with it. Anyways, Inside Blitz Football, and then we played Aeon's End with Phoenix Knight live here on the channel on a Saturday or Sunday night. I forget. I think it was Sunday night, and we're hoping to go do that again. Aeon's End is so good. It fell down some of my top 100 last year just because I didn't play it very much. And the problem I don't play it very much is it's literally It's buried. It would take me, and I'm not kidding, probably I would have to move 40 to 50 games out of the way just to get it and dig it out. It's like on the bottom, on the back row, and I'm sitting there's 3 rows of games, and it's on the very back bottom. It would take me quite a while to get to these games out, so I just didn't play them because I don't want to have to dig them out and get them all out. So I was dying to play it, and I contacted Phoenix Knight, and he was like, "Yeah, let's play it." And so we did, and we had a blast. And so we're gonna try and get together. I know he wants to go through the Legacy game. Which I think they have a module for that, the Aeons and Legacy, and play through that with me. So we're hoping to do that. Hopefully, in the next week or so, we can get on another episode in this. And I'm hoping to get a few Aeons End games in because it's a great game. Absolutely. So good, especially when you play with somebody else like Phoenix Knight who knows the rules and knows strategy and you know, I think, oh, let's do this. He's like, no, let's do that. Oh yeah, it's a good idea. Let's do that. So you always have 2 brains are better than 1. We ended up winning quite handily, actually. We got very lucky with a draw where his card came out and it did absolutely nothing. And then like the next turn his card came out and it did absolutely nothing because it was like the one of them was like something like whoever has the most spells prepped loses that spell and takes 2 damage. Well, it just so happens neither one of us had any spells prepped, so neither one of us took any damage, and neither one of us lost our spell. And the other one was something else similar to that where it was like, do this, but neither one of us had that, so we didn't take any damage. And so basically it was the enemy didn't do anything. And it was like after that, we just powered up and it was a great time. It's one of those games, you know, Aeon's End is kind of it's one of those I call it the bell curve. Like you're fighting an uphill battle, right? And you got to get to that pinnacle and just, you know, level it off and then hopefully, you know, start overcoming and making it easier. So it's one of those games that's got the bell curve, and you got this huge in the beginning, you got this huge not learning curve, but the power curve that you need to get over. And you're super weak in the beginning because you have all your basic cards in your hand and you're trying to get all the good cards and the enemy's ready to go and it's doing this, that, and the other thing, whether you like it or not. So it's a great game. Deserves to be in my top 20 of all time, probably in my top 5. I love this game. It dropped, like I said, just because I haven't played it. So, and then of course, as I talked about in the beginning of the show, I took a couple weeks off, like the last 2 weeks of March. I was playing a lot of Aeon's End action RPG game. I love my action RPG games, as you guys know. But it is a time sink, and that's the reason I stopped playing like Warframe. Because it was literally taking over my life. Like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And not, I mean, yes, you're getting somewhere in the game, but it's like, yes, you're going to be playing this for years and years and years. And it's just like, no, I don't want to spend that much time and effort. That's the problem with the computer games, is it's just such a time sink to put into them, to get out of them what they want you to get out of them. Like a level 80 character in Aeon's End is going to take you 20 to 30 hours to get that character to that level. And then, you know, I've got 5 characters doing that. So, you know, if you're just running one character from start to finish, you can probably play it in 30 to 40 hours. But The reason I have so many different games is I start playing one of these characters, and after a couple hours, they get bored and move on to another one. So it is a time sink, but it's a good break. It was a great break away. My mind was kind of needing a rest a bit from all of the games. It does become, as a YouTuber, it does become a time sink, playing games every night and learning new games and teaching new games and playing new games and setting up the cameras, setting up the board, doing all that stuff. It does get to be a little much at sometimes. So getting a little bit of a break, stepping away, is actually a good thing. Speaking of which, we got an announcement to make. We do have an announcement. The announcement is, dun dun dun, we, in April's coming up. It's now April 3rd. I'm actually going to be at Buckeye Game Fest at the end of April. April 27th through March 5th, I think is what it is. This includes the War Room Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the regular conference Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which means I should probably get my tickets to the event, make sure I can get in. That'd be a good idea. Didn't even think about that. I'm going to have to contact someone and figure out if I can do that. But we got our hotel, we got our airplanes, and we got our... the wife is going to visit all of her friends and stuff, so we will be there. So if you're going to Buckeye Game Fest in Columbus, Ohio, April 27th through March 5th, I think is the dates on that. Look me up, let me know, and maybe we can get together and play something sometime. So that's going to be exciting. So we took a couple weeks off. We're going to do some gaming, but now at the end of April, we are going to be full-time gaming there. Woo, it's going to be some stuff going on there. We're going to have quite a list of things when we get back in May to go over and talk about. And so our review next time, the end of April review, won't happen until like May 5th or 6th, somewhere in there, because we won't be home from the conference until then. So anyways, hopefully that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to that. That's the end of April. In the meantime, we got all of April to decide what we're going to be doing. We got a lot of things we want to do. Again, I want to play Alter Quest. I've got a whole bunch of new games in. We got several new ones. As you can see, it's still in the shrink wrap. We got a game called House of Danger. I picked this up very cheaply when I made my last order from Noble Knight. And this game was like $25. I got it for like $6 or something. And you can see it's in great shape and everything. House of Danger. It is a cooperative adventure game. So I'm like, okay, it kind of reminds me like those pull the cards out and write your own adventure, make your own decision type games. We're going to find out. We're going to try and play this, hopefully sometime soon. What else did we get, Jester? Oh, well, let's see. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. We got one of the new expansions for the G.I. Joe deck building game, Raise the Flag campaign expansion. What? You say no? Are you kidding me? Yes. We have the G.I. Joe Raising the Flag expansion. I love the G.I. Joe game. It was in my top 100 games of all time. And I will continue buying the G.I. Joe stuff. It's just going to add some replayability and different things to do to the game. This is going to say it's going to add in. We're going to be aboard the USS Flag. I think that's our ship, the USS Flag. Let's get rid of this. However, sail the seas upon the USS Flag and her vast arsenal against Cobra. You campaign mode that evolves based on your decisions and progress. Make different choices each time you play to see previously hidden content. That's I love games when they do that. It's like I mean, maybe I'm just a weird gamer, but I'm like if I play through a scenario, I've got a million other games, like literally almost a million games. I'm not going to replay through your little scenario, making different decisions just so I can see the different outcome that you're going to give me. No, I got more important things to do than replay your scenario and choose different decisions so I see your different ending. I love how games think they're so important that people actually are going to sit down and play through the campaign several times so they can get the different outcomes of the ending of the game. I mean, maybe I'm weird. Maybe there's like gamers out there that only own like 4 or 5 games, so they're going to play through this multiple times so they can see that. Maybe I'm the weirdo, which is a possibility. But I just don't see that happening, Mr. G.I. Joe. I don't see me replaying through your scenarios and choosing different options just so I can see a different outcome. It's not going to happen. I got the original G.I. Joe with the expansions that I still only played through the original scenario once, and I've got all the expansions on that one. So, no, it's probably not going to happen. What else we got? Well, this actually is out. As you can see, it's doesn't even have the lid with it because I actually have this game. I was going to try and set it up and get it, and try to maybe even get it played. This is Gentees, the Deluxeified edition with my broken ass box. You see that? That's just I need to tape this bad boy up. But you can play this solo. It's got all of the solo components and everything. This is kind of like a civilization building type game. You're going to be building your civilization up after, I think, through like 5 or 6 different ages. You're going to try and get new people and meeples so you can complete different events. You're going to try to expand different territories on the map. Different technologies. So, yeah, it looked pretty interesting. Again, I picked this up a Noble Knight pretty decently priced. That, and of course our House of Danger. What else did I get in that box? Oh, I know what else I got. I got this. Cthulhu the deck building game. To go along with Cthulhu the deck building game, Cthulhu the Dunwich Horror deck building game. This was the original. Then they came out with Cthulhu, a deck building game, the Dunwich Horror, which was kind of like in a standalone expansion. But I think this is the original one. And when I played the other one, I was like, oh, this one came up on Noble Knight. And I was like, it's brand new. Sure, I'll buy it so then I can combine the 2 games. And then I played the other one and I was like, wow. I don't know. That might have been the worst investment of my money ever because it's an extremely, extremely difficult, broken game. To be honest, it is, and the reason I'm hoping that this maybe fixes some of the problems I had with. It was extremely difficult. We were playing it wrong to begin with, and then we found out we were playing it wrong, and we tried it again, and like the game works against you, so you're just doing your thing, and then at the end of the turn, the enemies attack you, and you're going to take damage and sanity and all that, and so your object is to try and spend your resources so that you can prevent that from happening, which is great. But then, like, the first card I drew for the enemy was like, oh, for the rest of the game, instead of drawing one card, you're drawing 2 cards. Seriously? Okay. And then, so we did that, and like turn 2, you're fighting against one Elder God, which is super bad, super hard, super difficult. Super bad, super hard, super difficult. You're like stand a 1% chance of beating this Elder God. And then like I quit because it was getting 2 cards against us every turn. It was just too much. We couldn't. So I'm like, all right, let's reset. We'll try again. So we tried the second time. The very first card I pulled, the second time through, the very first card I pulled said, draw the Dunwich Horror if he's not in play and add him. So basically you're fighting against 2 Elder Gods instead of 1. And I was like, okay. I just put it back in the box and put it away. It was, are you kidding me? I'm like, this game, I mean, I'm hoping maybe this is, the original isn't as difficult, and maybe they decided to ramp up the difficulty with the Dunwich expansion. I'm hoping. Otherwise, both of these games are probably going to go in the trash can because, I mean, wow. The artwork is great. The concept is great. You're basically getting a hand of cards, and you're spending these resources on the cards that you're adding right back into your hand to help you prevent the enemies from attacking you, or you can do damage to the enemies, or whatever you can do during your turn. And each character has their own special abilities and special powers. There's a bunch of, I think there's like 19 different characters in the base game of the, so I don't know how many does this come with. 12 Elder Gods, 21 investigators. So lots of investigators. I don't know if they're the same or different with investigators. I mean, it was extremely hard, extremely difficult. I was not having fun. The main reason to play these games is to have fun. And when the game is, I mean, I play Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. That game is extremely hard, but it's not extremely hard, extremely difficult, and extremely broken like this game, right? Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is just extremely hard, right? So you can beat that game. It takes a while, and it takes some luck, and it takes everything playing, you to go down that path. This game, I don't see that. I mean, sure, you're fighting an Elder God, you should lose. I understand that, right? But the game is supposed to be designed to be fun and give you a sense of something. What's the game? What's the concept of the game then? If you're gonna lose, like, is the concept of the game just to, like, last 2 rounds and then if you last 2 rounds and play again and see if you can last 3 rounds? You cooperatively work with fellow players as investigators to banish the Elder Gods and their minions by using Moxie to reduce their health to 0. If you banish the Elder God before they reduce all of the investigator's health and sanity to 0, you win the game. Right, so the one issue I have with this, again, I hate to talk so much about this one game, but the one issue I have with this is kind of, the reason I brought up Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is when you play Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, you always play with 4 characters, because if you play with 3 characters, you're weakening yourself because the game is designed to work against you, and you're drawing 1 enemy card and doing its actions and everything against you. As long as you have 4 characters or less, you're drawing 1 card. If you have 5 characters, you're drawing 2 cards. And you're also, adding more monsters to the board and all that, right? So, if you're playing with 1, 2, 3, or 4 characters, you basically are playing the same way. So you're this is one of these games, if you're playing with 1 character or 2 characters or 3 characters, you're kind of weakening yourself because you're not getting the most bang for your buck. This is the same thing that I have with this game is if you play with 1 character, 2 characters, or 3 characters, you kind of are doing the same thing where you're fighting 1 Elder God and you're drawing 1 card. It's only until you, I think, get 4 characters, then you fighting 1 Elder God, but you're drawing 2 cards or something like that. So this is another one of these games that you almost forced to play with maximum amount of characters that you can to get as much firepower together that you're fighting 1 Elder God. If you're doing 1-on-1, you're out. You're dead. Don't even try. If you're doing 2 versus 1, get out of here. The Elder God laughs at you. So you have to almost be doing 3 or 4 versus 1 to stand any chance. But we'll test it and we'll see if we can come up with some good solutions. What else are we doing? Oh, Herman, I'm sure Herman, the struggle for Zorn. Herman, Fred, and Ryan Hellman is struggle for Zorn, man. This game and me have got a history. Like, I lost all the counters. Guess where they were at? Return of the Heroes. Remember talking about that game? Right? Remember talking about Return of the Heroes? And you can play. Remember I played Return of the Heroes? When did I play that? I don't know. Early in March. Well, guess what? That's where all my little pieces went. They were in the bag inside of the box. So now I've got 2 copies of all the counters because I lost them and now I found them. So the struggle for Zorn. This is another one of these great games by Herman Lutman. And yes, I know it's Lutman, and he knows it's Lutman. But he's a good buddy of mine. I call him Herman Lutman because that was our little joke when we got together for the first time. And so, anywho, it's a great game. And this is another one of these ones I would like to get to the table sometime in the near future and play it for you guys. It's a fantasy war game, cooperative. Another one of these ones where the game works against you type. There is different factions with different leaders, each with their own special abilities. They're magic users with their own special spells that they can cast. Again, modularity of this game. You're picking a leader, you're picking a magic user, you're picking a faction, you're randomly setting up the board. A lot of really good stuff to love about that design. I love it. So hopefully, in the near future, we can get this to the table. I'd like to also get Herman's other one, Plum Island Horror, to the table. Plus, Ark Nova. I got the Marine expansion which we haven't even had a chance to do. I want to try another Spirit from Spirit Island. I want to try Revive again, which was in my top 10 of all time. I got Mendiria. I know that doesn't play great solo, but I think I need to try it again. These are just ones that I can see. Like I want to try Final Girl because every time I play that game, I got the new. I got the Heat, Pedal the Metal. I found somebody that still had a copy of this, so it's out of print. I got the new Imperium Horizons, if it's still in one piece. So, yeah, with 14 more factions to add to the other 26 factions or whatever I have. So, plenty of new factions to play with that game. I thought it was really good. I really liked Imperium Classic. We played the Romans and the Carthaginians. Who was the first? We played Macedonia versus Persia, and the Romans versus Carthaginians, I believe, were the two. And it was great fun. Each faction played differently. I had a really good time with it. And I can see why people love that series. It's a great solo game, for sure. Anyways, rambling on now. So we've been going for 45 minutes almost. So there you go. That's a look at what we did in March. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, if there's something you would like to see, if there's something that you would like us to play, you need to leave a comment down below. And again, our April end review show will not be coming out until the first week of May because we're going to be at Buckeye Game Fest. If you are going to Buckeye Game Fest, we will see you there. Come by, say hi, and yeah. If you leave a comment down below and let me know, and maybe I can bring a game and we can try it. Or, I'm sure they might have a game or two there that we can play. Anyways, we'll see everybody then. Until then, my friends, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all down the line. Bye until the end of April. We'll see you then.